Depression among teenagers has reached alarming levels. If you're a teenager watching this, or a parent who's concerned, this message is for you. Depression isn't just about feeling sad. It can be overwhelming, and it's more common than many people realize. Today, we'll explore why so many teens feel this way, what's fueling their struggles, and share some stories to help us understand it better. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, over 3.2 million teens in the U.S. have experienced at least one major depressive episode in the last year. Across the world, mental health experts are seeing a rise in anxiety, stress, and depression among teenagers, especially in the last decade. Life has always been tough for teens, but today's generation faces pressures that older generations never had to deal with. Things like social media, constant comparison, academic stress, and a world that sometimes feels unstable. Sarah is 16. On the outside, she seems to have it all together. She's popular, gets good grades, and is active in sports. She has a group of friends, is involved in after-school activities, and appears to be thriving. But when Sarah looks at her phone, her heart sinks. She scrolls through Instagram, where she's bombarded with perfect images. People on vacation, showing off new clothes, flawless makeup, and carefree smiles. Inside, she feels small. She compares her day-to-day life with these perfect snapshots, wondering why her life doesn't seem as exciting or as glamorous. "Every time I see those posts," she says, "I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I should be happier, skinnier, smarter. It's just too much." Sarah's inner voice is relentless, always telling her she's not measuring up. No matter what she does, she feels like it's never enough. What Sarah is experiencing is something millions of teens feel every day. Social media, although it's meant to connect people, can become a place of endless comparison and self-doubt. Even the most confident teens can feel inadequate when faced with these carefully curated images. They may know deep down that these posts aren't the whole picture, but that doesn't stop them from feeling like they're falling short. And the constant pressure to project their own perfect lives online only adds to the weight they're already carrying. But it's not just social media. Sarah's story doesn't end with online comparisons. It's also about the pressure she faces in every other part of her life. She's constantly juggling school, sports, friendships, and family expectations. It's exhausting. And the weight of it all can lead to burnout, especially when she feels like she has to excel at everything. In today's world, success is measured by grades, awards, and achievements. There's always another test, another practice, another challenge. When they don't meet expectations, feelings of failure can take over. Take Jake's story, for example. He's a junior in high school, and he used to be passionate about learning and curious about the world. But now, it's different. Every day feels like an uphill battle. His parents expect him to be the best in his class, his teachers push him to excel, and his friends seem like they've already got everything figured out. SAT scores, college applications, scholarships. Everyone around him seems so focused and driven, but Jake feels like he's barely holding it together. "I used to love school," Jake says. "Now it just feels like a race I can't win. Every day I come home exhausted, and it's like, no matter how hard I try, it's never good enough." Jake isn't lazy. He's not unmotivated. He's just overwhelmed. The constant pressure to perform, to be the best, to succeed at everything, leaves him feeling empty and disconnected from the things he used to enjoy. Jake isn't alone. Many teens feel this overwhelming pressure to perform. It's not just about grades anymore. It's about being well-rounded, having the right extracurriculars, scoring high on standardized tests, and planning for a future that feels so uncertain. It can feel like their entire worth is tied to how well they perform, and that's a heavy burden. Another major factor contributing to teenage depression is loneliness. Ironically, in a world where we are more connected than ever, many teens feel more isolated than ever. Lily is 15. She has 500 friends on Instagram, talks to people on Snapchat, but feels completely alone. At school, it's hard for Lily to find anyone she truly connects with. Everyone seems to have their own group, and while she's friendly with lots of people online, it's not the same as having a real friend to talk to in person. "I'm surrounded by people," Lily says, "but I still feel alone. Like, I have all these friends online, but no one really knows me." This feeling of loneliness, even in the midst of connection, is a huge problem for today's teens. Social media offers a place to connect, but it often lacks the depth and authenticity of real-life relationships. When teens feel disconnected from others, it can lead to deep isolation, which contributes to depression. Another important reason teenagers are struggling is the stigma around mental health. Even though there's more awareness now than ever, talking about mental health is still often seen as a sign of weakness. Max is 17. For months, he's been feeling low. He's unmotivated, sad, and disconnected from the things he used to love. But he's afraid to tell anyone. His parents think he's just being lazy, and his friends don't take mental health seriously. He's worried they might laugh it off, or worse, think less of him for struggling. So Max keeps it all bottled up. "I don't know how to explain it," Max says. "I don't want to be a burden, and I don't want people to think I'm weak, so I just keep it to myself." Max feels trapped in his own mind, like he's carrying an invisible weight that no one else can see. The fear of being judged or labeled prevents him from reaching out for help, so he suffers in silence. And this silence can be dangerous. When teens like Max feel like they can't ask for help, they end up internalizing their struggles, which can make depression even worse. Many teens feel like they need to keep up appearances and be strong, but this often leads to further isolation. However, even if it doesn't sound uplifting, here's the good news. There is hope. Depression is treatable. The first step is recognizing that it's okay to not be okay. For teens like Sarah, Jake, Lily, and Max, opening up is key, whether it's talking to a friend, a parent, a counselor, or a therapist. Reaching out for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. If you're a teenager watching this and you're struggling with depression, please know that you are not alone. It's okay to ask for help. Reach out. Talk to someone. If you're a parent, teacher, or friend, be there for the teens in your life. Listen to them without judgment. Let them know it's okay to talk about what they're going through. Thank you for watching this video. If this message resonated with you, share it with others. Let's keep the conversation going and support the ones who need it most.